The domestic violence that I was exposed to.
Just as a child, right?
Just as a child.
From the time of birth till the time you were 7.
Yeah.
And I know it's traumatic.
We're working on our life and working to be better and better.
The people that I'm representing live in very horrible conditions, substandard conditions.
My life changed in an instant.
You grew up in apartments.
Yeah.
You grew up in a broken home.
I had all of these struggles. Who would have thought, right, that I'd be where I'm at?
Well, one thing about your personality that I've noticed is that you're always kind of like improving yourself.
I want to help kids. I want to help people.
I'm sure it's also the motivation factor.
It's just about hard work and determination.
That's one of the reasons that I want to bring in people like you that are successful Latinas that come from the same environment.
She was born in East LA. She was raised in Highland Park.
Right.
And look at what she's doing now. I want to be a therapist too. Surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you, who are going to inspire you.
It took probably a lot of strength
Yes,
for you to say,
does.
you know what, I gotta cut ties.
Right. Don't give up. Keep trying. Pull that village close to you. You know, find whatever it is that you need to be able to find your balance in life.
Hello, I'm Eric Castelblanco. Welcome to the podcast. Now today we're going to talk about something really important that affects all of us, our mental health. Now whether it's something we deal with personally or through somebody we truly care about, mental health is often overlooked, misunderstood, or pushed aside. That's why I'm really looking forward to today's conversation with Crystal Guzman, licensed marriage and family therapist and founder of Find Your Balance Center for Growth and Change, where she helps people navigate trauma, anxiety, and depression. But she's also a good friend of mine, and when she shared her story with me, I knew it was one that others needed to hear. Crystal, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and I think that so many listeners out there can really take a lot away from your personal life experiences, because I know when I met you, and we've known each other for years through this business group, and we get pretty in depth with this business group, and we really get to know each other. And you told me about your life experiences, and then I know you and your success as a business owner. I was just impressed.
Thank you.
So why don't we tell everybody, just tell me a little bit about your background. I know you were born in Los Angeles, right?
I was born in East LA, and I grew up in Highland Park. And I was raised by my mom, who's a single mom, and I was raised by my grandparents. So my grandparents are from Mexico, and so they were immigrants here. So I was raised in I'd say a pretty happy home environment with my mom and with my grandparents. And I think I brought up the exposure that I had when I was before 7 years old. I talked to you a little bit about the domestic violence that I was exposed to.
Just as a child, right?
Just as a child.
From the time of birth till the time you were 7.
Yeah, till I was 7.
Very challenging.
It was.
Home life.
Yeah. So I think anyone who's been exposed to domestic violence understands that struggle. As a young girl, it was something that I had to deal with. Luckily, my mom was able to take me away from that. So she was able to get a divorce. And then that's when I started living with my grandparents, and I was raised with them. So, looking back at my life, I see the path that I took and what led me here. And so looking back at being exposed to domestic violence really is what guided and led me to wanting to work with women and children who are exposed to domestic violence, which I did later in my years. I can talk to you a little bit about my story.
Well, I know you're hesitant in terms of that really early childhood experience that was completely outside of your control. And I know it's traumatic, and that you are still very, very close to your mother. I am. Right?
Yeah.
Like your best friend almost.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we go out, we go have dinners. She's a joy to be with. So we're really close.
So you can say you've had the experience of having a very strong mom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
Very strong.
Very
I look
strong.
up to her quite a bit. Yeah.
And then you had the strong kind of personal experience growing up with your grandparents who loved you so much.
Yeah, strong workers. Yeah, that immigrant mindset, which is work really, really hard.
Yeah.
That was my grandpa, very humble. So they're Mexican American. Well, I'm Mexican American and they're Mexican. So I think part part of our culture is just that humility and being humble.
So when you grew up, was it like Spanish spoken in the house?
Yeah.
So that's it. Like nobody really spoke much
My
English.
mom spoke English, you know, but my grandparents didn't.
They
So
didn't.
yeah.
So
I
that's
was
how you
raised around
learned your
that.
Spanish?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you were telling me that you grew up in LA, and I know that part of LA because I represent a lot of clients in LA, and
Yeah.
I think it's called the Avenues.
Right. Yes. Yes. So that's what they used to call it, I think. I don't think they call it that anymore. But back in the day when I lived there, yes, I lived amongst the Avenues, so which is a very dominant and prominent gang that was out there back then.
Right.
So I lived on Avenue 46. If anybody knows Highland Park, they know exactly where that's at. Yeah.
Which changed a lot since
Oh,
then.
yeah. It's changed. Yeah.
It's very gentrified now.
It is. Yes.
So did you grow up in apartments?
I did. I
You
grew up
did.
in apartments, little bungalows out in Highland Park. That's sort of what they were, what it was made up of, is a lot of like 1950 bungalows and a lot of apartment buildings. Yeah.
And you have a brother.
I do.
You do. And
Yeah.
So it was just your mom and your grandparents, and you had all this love.
Right.
And really, because I mean, you know more about this than I do because you're a therapist, you have psychology as a background, but kind of like my layman's perspective is that a child really gets their personality by the time of they're 7,
True.
right?
Yes.
So by the time you were 7, having very challenging experiences in home life, I mean, you were kind of set already,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So what kind of propelled you to all the success that you've had? I mean, it seems you had love at home, but what changed?
I'd say what propelled me to kind of doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. So, as a child, I was exposed to domestic violence, and then I grew up with my grandparents, so I was exposed to hard work, and then I went to college, I got married, I ended up finding out my husband had an affair, and we had 3 kids by then. So my life changed in an instant, and I had to figure out how was I going to raise these kids and take care of 2 people's worth of bills at that
He
time.
left you, right?
Well,
Or
we separated.
You separated.
Yes, we separated.
So you separated right away.
Yes.
And
yeah.
then,
And-
why did you have both set of bills?
Well, he was gone. So financially, he wasn't able to help with anything. So at that point, I was living in a house. I had a mortgage. There were cars. There was credit cards. There was all of this debt and financial responsibility. And at that point is when I decided that I would go and get my license as a therapist. So I already had my master's degree.
Okay.
And I decided I'd go back. So that was about 3,000 hours, and it takes several years to do. So that would offer me more stability, and that's what I decided to do with the 3 kids. So I think at that point, I was raising, gosh, I don't even remember how old they were. They were 3, 4, 5, 6, around there.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were very young, and I would wake up early in the morning, get them ready for school, drop them off, go to work, pick them up, come home, cook, feed them, do homework, take them a bath, put them to bed, and then I'd go back to work at like 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock till like maybe 1 in the morning. And that went on for years. And I did that for years. And I did that until I got my license to become a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Did your kids see you? I mean, you had like basically 9 hats, right?
Oh yeah, lots of hats.
And they saw you as like a role model too. And what happened to your mom and your grandparents? Were they around at that
They
time?
were. Well, my grandparents unfortunately passed away before I had any of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they were never able to meet my children. But they've always were an influence in my life. So I think as people, when we have a lot on our shoulders, we really have to think about like, what can we do to help decrease the burdens of our life, right? Mm-hmm. All I can share is my experience. My experience has been that having a village that I can pull from has really helped me. That saying that you need a village.
Yeah.
It's really true. If we're under a tremendous amount of stress, maybe it's time to just sit back and think, who can I pull in to help? So for me, it was like a single mom of 3 kids. I'm going to pull the teachers in, let them know what's going on, and to help me, to call me if the kids need anything. I'm going to pull therapists and counselors in to help guide my sons and get a male therapist to help them, kind of talk through their issues and problems. I'm going to pull my mom. I'm going to pull my grandparent. Well, my grandparents weren't around at that time, but pulling people at different times of my life when I needed them, I would just pull them closer and closer. So I learned that worked during different times of stress, was just pulling those people in as much as you can, because they'll help push you through whatever it is that you need.
Well, it's basically not having a fear to ask for help.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because, I mean, this is a very, critical time in your life.
Yeah.
You found yourself being single mom, and you weren't afraid to say, hey,
No,
I need a little bit of help.
Absolutely not. We all need help
Right.
at some point in our life.
Yeah.
And the best thing is to reach out and ask for that.
And you were able to find that support network.
Yes.
You created.
You created.
You created it.
And at different times in your life, it's different people.
Yeah.
It can change, and that's okay.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
During that time, besides getting this kind of network of support, were there also anybody like as a mentor or anything like that in your life?
I randomly did have mentors, and thinking back, I wish I would have had them earlier. So I think the first mentor I had was when I was doing real estate. So I also own a real estate business. Okay. And so I sought out mentorship because I didn't know and I wanted to learn. And I continue to do that. So now that I know better, I actually do pursue mentors, because I think they've done it. They know how to do it, and being able to get that guidance and support is what helps you.
I think a lot of people don't turn to a lot of people don't turn and ask for help, and also don't seek out like people that are willing to be mentors.
I know.
I mean, that was my personal fault when I was young, is I really didn't seek out help or mentors. I thought I knew it. Or I was afraid, like, why would they spend time helping me? They're so busy, or they're so successful. But I mean, are you at this point in your life mentoring anybody?
Absolutely. So whenever I can, I do. So when people reach out, I'll try to be there. I love working with youth. I love being able to open up their mind to the possibility of what can happen. I know you asked me to be on your podcast, and part of it was because I had all of these struggles. I was born in East LA and raised in Highland Park to an immigrant family. Like, who would have thought, right, that I'd be where I'm at? And I think being able to share that with other youth, that, you don't have to stay where you're at. You can dream big. You can have anything you want in life. It's right in front of you. You just need to learn how to access it.
Well, one of the reasons that I'm even doing a podcast is because during my line of work, I represent a lot of kids. Yeah. And I always ask him, he's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to college? What do you want to do in life? What career you want? And typically the people that I'm representing live in very horrible conditions, substandard conditions. And I'm helping them kind of exit that. And the blank look that I get many times, the look of apathy, the look of helplessness, the look of like, they're just not motivated. And that's one of the reasons that I want to bring in people like you. They're successful Latinas that come from the same environment, right? Yeah. You grew up in apartments. You grew up in a broken home. You had love, but still you had things that were putting you, behind the starting line. Right, a little
exactly.
bit. So, and then you're very successful. So,
thank you.
From where you've come from, from being raised by a single mom, being a single mom yourself, and now tell us a little bit about your business. You were licensed, but then you built something. Let's talk about that. Yeah,
so I started my own practice and in mental health. So you just brought something up about these kids who have like a blank stare. Yeah. And I'm wondering, mental health really affects all parts of our life. So when you say that, and these are your clients coming to you that are living in unhealthy situations, it could be because they're already experiencing mental health problems. So when a family or a child or a mother is living in an unsafe home or going through stress with their home, it's really impactful. So I wonder if that's what you're seeing in the kids.
There are many instances that have really put me so sad after, because I do personal visits. I go out to these apartments, and sometimes they're it could be summer vacation, and they'll just
Right.
be watching TV all day,
Yeah.
or YouTube or whatnot, and they won't be going out. They won't go to the
Right.
park. They're not, running around like, like I used to do as a little kid. And they're just kind of trapped inside in these,
And you might not know
apartments.
what's going on, but when you see kids that are doing that, sometimes it's isolation. They are depressed, they are sad, and if
Yeah.
they are living in a home where, our home is our haven, it's our safe place.
Yeah.
And when that home is no longer your haven, no longer your safe space, you're scared of what's there, if you're in unhealthy conditions, fear of being evicted, just all of that. All of that, it affects every family member. So maybe that's what you saw. So
Probably. So,
Yeah.
so like, let's say you want to address this, this young person that is in that state. What would you tell them? Like, how did you, turn your life into what it is now?
yeah. Let's see. I'd say that I never gave up. I think that was a big one. I think that knowing that there is something out there that you can become, and maybe seeing it, so being able to be exposed to people. And I love that you brought me here, and I love that you're doing this, because I think just something like a podcast, if someone sees it and they're like, hey, she was born in East LA, she was raised in Highland Park, and look at what she's doing now. I want to be a therapist too. I want to help kids. I want to help people, and if I did it, trust me, anybody can do it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. I'm a lawyer. If I could do it, like anybody could do
Yes,
it.
anybody can do it. It's just about hard work and determination. You don't have to. I wasn't an A student. I know you probably were.
No, not,
Well, you,
not all parts of my
but I
life.
wasn't. So I was not an A student. I C student, a few B's there, but I didn't give up.
Yeah.
I tried my best, and when I failed something, I went back and I did it again. And I just didn't give up, and I knew that I had a goal, and I was like, I'm going to get to that goal. It's just a matter of time. That's it. And you just keep going.
Well, one thing about your personality that I've noticed is that you're always kind of like improving yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, just even, you're out of school, you already got your master's, but you're continually like self-improving by going to, like, you did a Stanford program.
I did,
right?
yes,
Yeah. Tell
yes,
us a
through
little bit
the
about that.
Latino Business Action Network. So it's a program that you can apply to if you're Latino and you want to learn how to do business and build and scale. You apply, and then they approve you to attend if you qualify. And it was a pretty amazing program. So it's a room full of Latinos who are all doing business together. And you learn how to build and scale, and you become connected with this group. So that was really amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not just, attending, but I'm sure it's also the motivation factor.
It is.
Right?
And that's part of the village.
Yeah.
So surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you, who are going to inspire you.
Right.
And I am a lifelong learner, I'll admit. I didn't recognize that at all until recently, when I look back at my life, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've been in school my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I graduate school, just like you said, and there I go again, signing up for a class. And
Exactly.
it's just, I think lifelong learning for me, it's challenging. I enjoy it. I love surrounding myself with that mindset of people who want to learn and want to grow.
Right.
So for me, it's just something that's enjoyable.
And what you say about surrounding yourself is so important. You got to really be careful about who you surround yourself with, right? Because I'm
Exactly.
sure in your counseling services, we talked earlier about like toxic relationships.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think this is something I had to work on. And I know other business owners who have done the same. So it's finding people, and it's easy to do this. You can just close your eyes and think about the people in your life that are causing you a lot of stress and that are really pulling you down and draining you. And when you identify those people, so I was able to do that at one point in my life, and I identified that there were a couple of people in my life that were really pulling me down, and I decided that I didn't need them in my life, and I worked at getting them out of my life. And I think that's key, because I think that life is hard. Life can be very difficult. We're all living life, and we, at some point in our life, we're going through stress. It just is. That's what life is. We're going through grief, we're going through stress, we're going through hard times. And so to be able to eliminate people who are bringing you down and replace them with people who are lifting you is going to be a huge shift in people's lives.
Oh yeah, because I mean, we only have one life,
Yes,
right?
right.
And time is so precious.
It is.
So if you identify a few people and you say, these two people are anchoring me, they're pulling me down, they're not letting me kind of flow. It took probably a lot of strength for you to say, you know what, I got to cut ties.
Right. And that's what we work on, right? We work on ourselves, bettering ourselves, cleaning up our life. It's constant.
Yeah.
You know, it's constant. In different stages of life, we're working on our life and we're working to be better and better.
Yeah. And you just got to keep improving like you're doing.
Yeah.
So in your business, okay, you're a therapist, but you also run a company.
I do.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I started my own practice and COVID hit. So during COVID, as we all remember, it's still fresh in our memories, I think, is, you know, we were all on lockdown at our home. And my phone would not stop ringing. And I decided at that point that I would start hiring employees. So I've had other businesses in the past. So for me, starting a business and hiring employees was really natural to me. So I started hiring employees. Our mission has always been accessibility for all, and which means that basically we take almost all the insurances, including Medi-Cal. And I started hiring people who also had that same mission. The company grew pretty quickly. I mean, I think we're at like 40 clinicians and maybe 10 office staff, so about 50 of us right now.
Wonderful.
And it's only 5 years.
Wonderful. You were telling me that you have like, you do hundreds of appointments, like your staff do hundreds of appointments every week.
Right.
I mean,
every
just
week.
like
I know.
mind-boggling.
I know.
You know?
I know.
That's amazing. And you manage this whole thing. You're the CEO.
I am.
You have no partners.
No.
This is your show.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
And I have a nonprofit, which is pretty nice.
That's
we offer
wonderful.
free services at the nonprofit, and it's also mental health, mental, spiritual, and physical health. So,
That's great.
yeah.
So, you know, you're helping so many people. Like, tell us what kind of, like, are the major issues that people are coming to you for?
I'd say the majority is anxiety, depression, family issues, high stress.
It's so nice that there's a company, you know, an outlet for them to go to.
Absolutely.
And that you're so willing to help, like, everybody.
Yeah.
What I see in my line of work is where people are living like just in kind of toxic situations with cockroaches and whatnot. I mean, have you had any experience with people coming to you for those type of things?
Specifically, so I used to work with immigrations. This was back in like 2018. And those were some of the issues that they would come to.
Oh,
and so I think, you know, overall, when you think about unhealthy, just like I said about housing, you know, it can really impact people with their mental health if they're not in a stable and safe environment.
Right, right. Yeah, because you have to have like a safe home in order to thrive.
You do.
You know,
Yeah.
a home stable environment.
Right. And then I think I've seen some of the podcasts and kind of your marketing and stuff. So I see what your clients are going through. And I can just imagine how stressful that is for a mom. You know, because I'm a mom. So like if my kids were living with that, because there are health concerns, you know, and then increased stress really does affect your physical health.
Sure.
You know, people get sick, their stomachs hurt, they get headaches. There's all sorts of things tied to mental instability. So I think when I saw that, I felt really bad because I know that once the moms start to feel that stress, the whole family feels it.
Yeah.
Right? The mom's the center of it all.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she's stressing because of the kids.
Yeah.
So then everybody else is going to feel that.
There is a center there that's always the mother.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, it really is.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful. So just kind of wrapping it up, I know you have so much in your life experiences that you want to get out there. Is there anything that we missed or that you want to kind of like stress with the audience?
I think probably just two things. What's coming to mind is like the first thing we talked about was the village, right?
Yeah.
Bring those people closer to you.
Yeah.
Especially like maybe your clients that are coming to you. You know, bring people closer to you. Bring that you know, Eric or any other attorney close to you that's going to help you. Bring your family close to you that's going to help you during that situation. And just anybody else who's dealing with hard times, just remember that there is some resilience. You know, don't give up. keep trying.
Yeah.
Pull that village close to you.
Yeah.
You know, find whatever it is that you need to be able to find your balance in life. Because that's what it is. It's really figuring out how to find balance between work and stress and everything else that we want to do. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. So I'm just giving, I guess, my little tidbit of advice is to pull that village together, clean out your house from the negative people, and never give up.
Yeah. And just like your business name, Finding
Right.
Your Balance.
Yes.
I mean, it's a beautiful name.
Yes,
Perfect.
thank you. Yeah.
So thank you, Crystal.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so much
you.
for your time.
Thank you for
Thank
inviting
you for
me.
sharing your story with us all
Yeah.
here, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.